Hey all, SirPengwin here, and we are back with a replay review. Initially, I asked y'all to submit your videos for this, so if you have videos for the replay review series that you would like to have reviewed by myself and somewhat coached by myself, I'm a plat 3-ish player, I want to say. I'm always close to Diamond, but never quite in Diamond for a long time. Working on my game, working on the game of my friends, and we're all just always talking about it. So, what is going on here? We are looking at Delhi. I'm in the pink, SirPengwin up against H.E. Pennypacker. Nice dude. I actually talked to him after the game a little bit. We added each other on the game because, yeah, like I said, nice dude. We had a really fun game. This was a very fun game. I lost. I'm gonna say that right at the beginning of this video. I lost in the end, and we're gonna look at why that is the case. First things first, pretty simple Delhi opening. Like I said, picked this up from what I believe to be a Crackety build, but I don't think the alt account has been confirmed just yet as Crackety. It could be Avely. It's a German player, German pro player, able to beat like Beastie and Demu and stuff like that. So, you know, it's a high level Delhi build order here. And not, like I said, not doing anything. I'm not going to be at that level. I'm not trying to say that that's the level I'm playing at. Just that's what I'm using here, okay? Moving forward here, we're just taking a little peek, trying to find out where this guy is. Try to find out where the pit mine is. And one of my initial mistakes this game is seeing this gold, I kind of just assumed that's where he would expand the pit mine. That was a bad assumption because of this guy down here, and we'll see that come back to haunt me a little bit later in this game. And we'll also see how key this was to the game, because I think, honestly, there was a point in this game I think I should have just attacked earlier. But like I said, we're just going to take a look, find out where I went wrong here. So let's yeah, so I've got the 9 on food, 3 on gold. The goal here, the 3 on gold's actually a little extra, unfortunately. So I should have actually just gone 2 on the gold for this build. But we're working it out. We're still working it out. Still able to age up fairly early. It's a new build and I keep getting the push wrong. So like instead of pushing, I just need to gather and just age up freely because that would be faster than trying to push it. So that's first mistake I make this game. I don't think that was a very like make or break mistake at our level, but look how much time it added. It added like 10. I wanted to age up 15 seconds before this, but I click up at 255. I'd rather click up at 240, even earlier if possible, but a little bit late on the click up there, which is going to make my military a little bit later, which in the end hurts us. So got to keep that in mind as a player. If I'm trying to do these little pushes, it's got to be worth it. It's got to pay off instead of delay me. So that was a mistake. Let's look what Molly's up to. I kind of scouted this. Only 2 houses on the pit mine with 2 villas gathering. This is not something I've seen personally. I'm not too familiar with this Molly build order, but getting the wood, gonna need it's inevitably gonna be a cow boom. I mean, what does Molly do but cow boom on the ladder lately? So kind of anticipating a cow boom out of this guy, just as he can anticipate early aggression out of Delhi. Would you believe? Honestly, looking at Molly versus Delhi, you'd think it's a fairly predictable matchup, but it's actually kind of a funky matchup, at least at this level, because Delhi wants to go into Ghazi and archers. Molly has very good counter to those, but you kind of want to make them anyway, because your spears are pretty useless in the early game, because Molly can just keep making the javelin throwers and the Danzos. So how do you play it? You got to use your mobility to outpace and outplay the opponent. We're trying to avoid idols there, but as you can see, that villager was misclicked or something onto the wood line. 4 on the build, 5 on food, and we're gonna get the rest onto wood now as we pull off of gold and build our scholar. Scholar's gonna pop into this mosque as soon as he's able. I forgot to click my little Q into the building button, but he's gonna pop in when I notice that I missed that button. Nothing too, again, little small delays. Like these delays are pretty impactful, but they're also fairly small. Yeah, we'll pop him in. Because this is the important thing. We're getting units up. These little mistakes are going to be made. We've got a stable coming out of the opponent. What I didn't really anticipate against Delhi, and probably should have in hindsight, is a Warrior Scout opening. You got a lot of sheep too. That sucks. I got a fair amount of sheep, but yeah, I think we got... Okay, we went fairly even with the sheep. We kind of split them. I think he got a little bit more than I did. Yeah, because this is including my starting sheep. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So he's got 10. I've got 8. That's a 500 food difference, keep in mind. So sheep can make a big difference, but that's not really what we're looking at this for, because this is what we're looking at this for. My opponent goes immediately into a big cow boom, which I was aware of. I mean, my scouts here taking a little peek. I see them double mill. I don't think I quite see the pastures here, but it's, you know, you can kind of anticipate this. And let's see now. We got houses fully saturated in the pit mine. And I'm just taking a little peek. This is a warrior scout, so I have to be careful with my scout here. This is not where he dies, but I lose my scout too early in this match. Here we go. Ghazi pressure. Gonna take a little too much health off my own Ghazi raider, I think, on this raid, because I chased this bill too far. I do get the kill, though, which is kind of satisfying. I don't lose the Ghazi raider, which is the important thing. But I took those last 2 volleys, got me down to half health for 1 villager, which doesn't feel good. And this scout's getting chased by a warrior scout. Okay, 175. They're still faster than, that's right, because they're like horsemen. Okay, that makes sense. I knew I lost this scout and I was frustrated. This makes so much sense. So he does the horseman speed to chase my scout and is easily gonna kill my scout here. Boom, scout's dead. Now, what the pros kind of like to do is immediately pop out another scout, but I'm making Ghazi, and so I don't really think about the second scout. But I have 2 stables, so I could have slipped a scout into this. The problem is, if we look at the speed of their scouts, and he went into scouts, my scouts are going to get outpaced, so I was a little worried about that, frankly. Anyway, looking here, the cow boom continues, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it except put pressure onto the pit mine, so I'm going to burn some houses. You know, just delay Molly the way you do. He's gonna have to make Donzos here to stop my Ghazi. Thankfully for me, I followed it up immediately with archers, so the Donzos aren't gonna be able to do too much here. More barracks is coming out for more Donzos. I think he thought I was just gonna mass Ghazi. He must not have scouted my archery range, so that was good for me. And you're gonna see that like the early game here actually goes quite well for me. Another thing I do is I send a villager across to immediately tower the pit mine, so it's difficult to reacquire. It's kind of the English strat against Mali, and I've adopted some of that as a player. But again, this is what I don't notice, is this gold mine down here. I also didn't notice this. I should have been burning this guy with all my Ghazi. More archers on the way. More Ghazi. There we go. Once I noticed that, I got mad at myself and then said, alright, burn that down and then just burn the pit mine. But, yeah. There he goes. I did not have eyes on this because, oh my, how is this my fault? Look at this tree line. Oh my gosh, I just say that jokingly. There's a path here, but like, no wonder I didn't scout this. I couldn't freaking see it. It was all cut off. Okay. That makes me feel a little bit better. Like, just like a little bit better as a player. That's frustrating. Look at this. Oh man, they're fused together. All right. Anyway, still doing good on this pressure. We got some Donzos coming out to try to shut it down, and I spot this food, but the passive food chat. I get him off of gold. Like, he has to stop producing cattle here, which is nice. But he already has... What is that? 10 cattle. He has half the amount of cattle he can have already. That's what makes... This is what makes Mali very strong, are these cattle. Especially, you could just stick him under your TC against an aggressive civ like Delhi. So, this is being played excellently by HE Pennypacker. He's being patient, loses the gold, and then takes this gold down here at the 10-minute mark. And I haven't spotted it, but I know in my heart of hearts that he's still got something somewhere, because you get 2 pit mines when you're in feudal age. So I'm like, okay, I have these 2 golds in my vision. This is in black. This is in the fog of war, and I have not spotted it. So I start thinking about that, though, and I'm going, okay, well, I can pressure the food. I can stop units from coming out, maybe even stop potential castle age, but he's got passive food. Making somewhat cheap units here. Just needs wood and food to make warrior scouts. Look at that. Just queuing warrior scouts out of the stables now. Actually, just out of one of them. This is a mistake I make all the time, too. If you, like, build a new building and you forget to control group it, that's what he's done here. And I get some... I like it. Look at this. I feel good about the damage I was doing him, but again, 7 vills on food. He drops off the food from the berries. He's got 700 food because of these cows, even though he's only gathering the sheep under his TC. And this is, you know, this is frustrating, but that's Mali, and you got to live with it. So here I am living with it. Waited for this for far too long. The gold does start coming in. He's got a villager on it, and it's gonna be slow-ish, but it is this. Well, and yeah, so for those of you watching on YouTube, someone in my Twitch chat here, Miathras, just said, hey, what about making like 5 rams? I should have attacked here. You're absolutely right, because I didn't realize I lost my scout, right? So A-Man and I were talking about this. I lost my scout. I didn't know that my army was so much bigger than his. It's hard to push this, but not that hard. I should have rammed down his corrals. So you're absolutely right, Miathras. I just didn't know, because I didn't have enough vision. Even with this tower only gave me vision of the top of the base. And again, I was not aware of this. I'm just gathering food and wood to make units. And I actually idle for a second here on my production. And I would, like, I'm floating wood. Floating wood, floating, I mean, gold, you have no choice but to float as Delhi because of these guys, but... And generally, that's what my brain does, but I'm practicing a new kind of build. My brain... For YouTube. My brain would have gone like, he has a lot of cows, he's exposed, but I play Mali and I'm reckless. Yeah, exactly. I am trying to avoid reckless play right now, which is why I'm playing so carefully in this game. Because I've been playing very recklessly, and so before I probably would have built rams and tried to attack this, but I was thinking, let me build up a mass, let me take my time, but I took too much time. So there, like, again, vision would have helped me a lot here, because I am trying to work on patience. But here I am getting raided by warrior scouts. This is where the game gets tense, because this guy is making warrior scouts. I'm making Ghazian units. I'm losing vills now, and I guess I lost more vills than I thought I did here. Yeah, I lost more vills than I thought I did on the berry bushes down here. Look at that. Look at the vill count. So it's actually worse than I thought. And it's going to get worse because I'm getting raided by different control groups of warrior scouts. And so now I'm distracted. I have to pull my Ghazi back to take care of this, and I pull too much of the Ghazi back because it only ends up being a few left that my TC killed. But there's more on the way. I saw them coming as well. So I decided to split my guys, clear out which scouts I could so I could re-secure my food, and just try to get back into this game, because now he has passive resources and a villager lead. I have a tendency here to wait to go too fast. So like I said, I'm trying to be patient, but I'm actually behind. Look at this army count. I needed to take advantage of this army count. So really, at this point, I see a big archer mass kills 3 javelin throwers, just to keep in mind, chat. I was like, okay, I lost 1 archer for 2 javelin throwers. That's great. But then I don't have enough Ghazi to hold the next wave of Sofa and warrior scouts. And he's got gold now, so he can make Sofa out of the stables. And more stables are on the way. Holy crap. Yeah, so I knew he had a lot of production back here. But as a player seeing this now, Molly is just, I should have burned the corrals. But I couldn't because I don't have armor. I should have made rams to knock them down. If I go in here with Ghazi, they're gonna die. Sorry, YouTube. Also, once again, talking to my Twitch chat here. But so we're fighting some warrior scouts, fighting up against the. I finally find this with the archers, and I go, oh my god! It's been 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes since he built this. So he's gotten free gold for 6 minutes. So my issue here really comes down to the fact that these warrior scouts outpaced my scout, and now it's a clusterfuck. I just gotta say, like, pardon my language. But we're looking at a situation where I have to make units to fight this. Meanwhile, I also realize I need to cripple this, and there's a lot going on in my brain right now. So we're fighting up here. There's too many Danzos for me to fight this, so I have to kite and wait for my archers. But there's too many warrior scouts to fight with my archers, so I have to do a little bit of a kite here with my... A little bit of a kite here, try to take out warrior scouts while shooting the Danzos, because my comp really is not set up for warrior scout Danzo. This is a really good comp against this Delhi build here. So my opponent making all of the right decisions. And now a new pit mine kind of goes up. I've managed to kind of burn at this one, but he rebuilt it. Farms coming up, and literally just warrior scouts out of all these. Well, let me just take a look at the warrior scout so we can talk about damage and stuff of this unit. You got 7 damage, the speed of a horseman. I'm kind of curious. Versus the Ghazi, which is going to be quite powerful because of the mace. And the bonuses versus range. So keep in mind, Ghazi a little bit stronger than your horseman. But once these guys get masked up with that 7 damage, Ghazi have no slashing armor. So this becomes a situation where the Ghazi mace doesn't do anything against the warrior scout. And in enough mass, the speed of the Sofa warrior scout combo is hard to counter with Ghazi. So I start making spears. I've got some barracks is up. I decide to start making spears, and this helps. Like I'm able to cut off some of this pressure. Sofa that I go, oh, I should pull this off. Oh, I've got spears. I'll be fine, but I'm actually gonna lose some bills down here again, which is hurting me really badly. More fights coming out. I've got a lot here now, and I'm like, okay, my archers. Let's focus the Danzos. I Q shot against the Danzos, but it's too hard to kind of click in here. I think I'm still gonna make Ghazi. Someone asked maybe Ghazi aren't the choice. I'm gonna make Ghazi no matter what, because they're the only unit I have that can counter the majority of the enemy's units. And you cannot fight Molly with spear archer because of javelin throwers. I should have transitioned. I did transition out of the Ghazi for the most part here. Once I realized what was happening, I haven't seen this build in a long time. So part of my surprise was that I haven't seen warrior scouts in a while since the nerf. So I did not expect warrior scouts on every cornerback. And look at this. Credit to my opponent. Beautiful scout micro. Groups of scouts gathering out around the map in places they need to be, looking for my stuff. Beautiful scouting. Absolutely beautiful scouting. Looking for loose vills, looking for wood lines. Like credit to my opponent for just having absolutely beautiful scouting against my lack of scouting. And again, like I said earlier, he's making the right decisions. And I never scouted this. I didn't know he went 2 TCs. Wow. So this is where things start to go really bad for me. I start to balance it out a little bit, but the army count is balancing out. I really should have gone for rams earlier, but we're past that point, right? I mean, that point is long gone. But when I had this push, I should have built rams to kill the corrals. That's That's the most basic way I should have fixed this fight. Is just some rams. But again, I didn't have vision. My scouting was pretty bad here because I lost my scout to a warrior scout. Warrior scout's really valuable against Delhi here. And again, oh my gosh, the scout micro driving me absolutely nuts. Thankfully, I know my villagers can take out a warrior scout, so I have tech cells. I go ahead, take that guy out, and get back onto my food. We're going to build walls around the sacreds and try to re-secure them. My mindset now is, okay, I failed the attack. I cannot push in. I can hold off and build up. Ghazi can beat this in large enough numbers. They're still going to take a lot of damage, but these guys are getting better trades. And I was saying that to my chat while I was playing because I played this on Twitch. These scouts are getting better trades because they're, let's look at their cost versus the cost of my unit. A warrior scout is 90 food. A Ghazi is 110 food and 30 wood. So 140 resources versus 90, 50 more resources for every Ghazi I lose to the warrior scouts. But it's going fairly well for me. Like I'm fighting pretty well here. I'm losing fights though. And again, this player's micro was better than mine. So I lost when I didn't start killing his base earlier. Really, really strong micro out of my opponent. Like I said, there's warrior scouts and Sofa in every corner of the map. So I am playing defensively everywhere. I've got Ghazi chasing the raids. And another thing I should have done, especially looking back at this, as soon as I knew warrior scouts were coming out, these are not the only walls I should have had. I lost. I had way too much openness. I should have walled off my base. I was trying to wall off sacreds. All of these walls not only are in the wrong spot, but are so late that they can't be finished. So I still have warrior scouts and Sofa riding all over my base. And so really, looking in hindsight, like walls, once I realized my push had failed, I should have built some walls and played more defensively. And we have played a very, very long feudal age here, which, you know, it's pretty standard nowadays to the credit, especially against Delhi. Like if you're playing Delhi, it's smart to play a long feudal because you need to be able to stack up against their units. Anyway, so we're both playing a long feudal and we're both like, we're struggling, but here comes that Grand Fulani Corral. So these cows who have been putting in work for my opponent, 20 vills on food, endless warrior scout production, except for the age up here. But again, as soon as he sees he has more food, more warrior scouts coming out. Excellent macro. I'm floating gold, and I realized that, so I build a market and decided to buy my way to castle because I had a feeling my opponent, with all these scout wins and no gold units except for a few Sofa, was going to age up. So I saw, and immediately he aged up when I got the market. So you can see I'm going to buy some food here when I get the chance, and I'm going to age up as well. But again, not enough walls. Some idols on the front side. It's probably going to take me a while to fix this because again, I'm microing a lot, trying to burn stuff down. And these guys sit here for, okay, there we go. Perhaps not quite as long as I thought, but for too long. Try to wall off the second gold so that he's stuck to this one, because I've been able to raid this just enough that he doesn't want it anyway. But I don't get the walls up in time. Again, this is the 5th time my walls haven't come up in time. So, something to keep in mind. We're at the 23-minute mark, and I don't have enough walls to defend warrior scouts, which is a big mistake. That being said, even if I do get the walls up, this guy's micro. Again, I need to credit my opponent. This guy's playing a very good game of Age of Empires, and he has done everything right. Triple TC now. Jesus, wow. Well played, HE Pennypacker. And he's so smart to build them in the back because he knew I wasn't able to scout him because he had stuff everywhere. Clever. It's good Age of Empires. Very good Age of Empires. Just for farms in the back. I've got a mass going now again. But look at the villager count with passive resources. Grand Fulani Corral and a villager lead. I've lost at this point, really, truly. And it's become a cavalry spear fight, so it's a cluster. It's a, you know, It's violent. Now I push. Come on. This is the thing, is like, you expect to be able to push in these situations. You get your upgrades. And I'm up quite a bit, but I'm already behind, chat. I'm so far behind now. But really, the win should have come earlier with a ram push. These walls now properly coming up. I decide to queue up a stone wall here with the stone I'm bringing in. And a keep on the sacred sites, but it's too late. It's too late. Look at that. Look at that. It's endless. He just... Look at that food. No matter, like, how many units I make. And then he starts getting relics as well. At that point, I say, okay, I should queue some relics. But this game doesn't have that much longer to go. Because these pushes come in. Look at that unit count balance out like that. The fact that he's 25 villagers ahead with passive resources now because of the 3 TC. And I've taken damage from raids. Like, his raids have been really good. Like I said, credit where it's due. My opponent played a really, really strong game of Age of Empires. Here we are, fighting off more warrior scouts. Fighting off more warrior scouts. Fighting off more warrior scouts. Credit to this guy's micro. Like, big credit to his micro. Here's my army. It's looking pretty good. I thought this was a bigger push because I scouted more of these guys. I thought they'd be with it, but then I realized they were on my walls still. Very on top of leaving that one warrior scout to take the sacred and move up the rest. A lot of players would just camp that army out on the sacred, but that's camping it out and sending the troops, looking for my berries and my wood line. Thankfully I caught him before he got to my wood line. I even ran my Ghazi in the way, but I didn't attack click properly right there, so. They're just everywhere, and I'm getting kills, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can kill as many warrior scouts as I want. I am so far behind. So I should push in these moments, right? Obviously I should push and raid and attack. But again, my vision was garbage this game, like absolute garbage. So one thing Ayman and I really talked about was discussing the scout loss at the beginning. I need to get more scouts in, but the scouting! Look at this man! He's patrol clicking. Oh my god. This guy plays StarCraft, chat. This is a StarCraft move. I'm clearing stuff out, but at this point it really comes down to the AoE player whose micro starts to fall apart versus the StarCraft player who has picked up AoE and is now better at it. So very, very well played by Pennypacker again. Like, great games. This was a fun game. Again, don't get me wrong. I decided to secure this. I build a gate, and I want to get my scholar on it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look, I was ahead in military by 60, and in a minute, he balances it back out with this crazy food income. Very nice gameplay. And again, I can kill these scouts, but this is one of those moments I went, it doesn't matter how many scouts I kill. I need to push in, but if I push in, I lose to the scouts. So this wall needs to get up, but it's way too late. It's way too late. I decide, I've got units up here, I've got units down here. Let's push from both angles. But I guess I must have misclicked because this army is supposed to be coming down. So something for myself to keep in mind. This army is not the only one that's supposed to be hitting. This one's supposed to be hitting up here as well. There they go. Too late though. I thought I sent them together. I'm gonna lose more villagers to more raids. And again, I've got 3 armies now, just like my opponent. It's got this army down here. And I've made so many spears, he's made archers now. And the passive resources, I'm just boned. He doesn't even have more than 1 pit mine. It's just the fact that getting the relics now is helping a lot too, mind you. So good job again. Should have grabbed the relics myself, but how? I would have lost that scholar, you know? Just gotta be more, this is map vision, this is a lot of things. I went looking for this afterwards, and I said, oh, okay, there's nothing there. I guess I'll burn some houses and fight this. But it was one of those things, just not noticing everything. And look at all these archers now with my infantry army with the poison arrows. I don't have enough deli archers anymore because I've been fighting cavalry the whole game. So another excellent transition by my opponent. Big Castle Age game, and I am dead. I'm dead. I realized that. At this point, I kind of went back and went, I don't think I could do anything. I really don't think there's anything I can do now. But it's really because I lost early in the game. I've been getting raided on my food. I've been getting raided everywhere. So, like, again, just the micro. There's fights everywhere this game. Very fun game of Age of Empires. This is how I like to play. And I got very outplayed here in the second half of the game. Let's move my units under the keep. And he goes, okay, I won't fight you there. Great decision making, by the way. Some players would push into this keep. He makes the right decision and pushes past where my wall is unfinished. And I realize that. But it's too late. It's too late. Not enough units here. Nothing. It's over. It's over. Very well played, HE Pennypacker. Again, credit where it's due, as I've said many times in this video. Excellent micro from HE Pennypacker here. Excellent gameplay and excellent decision making. And what a base. Very good gameplay. Very nice job. I really should have attacked earlier and used my early advantage to get rams out. A big part of that was vision. And I talked a lot about vision in this. But again, it's not like he was on this gold for a long time or anything. It's just the 6 minutes, sure, but then once I destroyed it, he never built it again. It's just this in the base, the food, the corrals. This Grand Fulani Corral with the farms. Endless food. Endless food. So, very well played. Smart decisions. And again, like the decision making should have been walls. The walls are too late now, but I GG at this point because this army's coming in. I think I like buy myself a little bit of time. I'm like, okay, if I can beat this attack with my Ghazi, maybe I can do something about it. But frankly, I just don't have enough to fight it all at once. So I go to fight this, but there's another wave on the way. And in the end, I think I got a lot of kills this game. Like, we could see the kill count, but the kill count is not representative of the villager count. And I lost a lot of units too, like, so. Great macro by Pennypacker as well. Like, at this point, you can go imp, but my base is already done. There's just units everywhere, and I have fallen victim to not attacking early enough. I never thought I would fall victim to that, but like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm working on my patience, and I'm working on attacking at the right time, and in doing so, kind of crippled myself in this matchup. So now that I've learned a little bit more patience, and I'm gonna make units for a longer amount of time before attacking against factions like Mali, I think I gotta be a little more aggressive, which is the funniest thing I've ever said because I'm always such an aggressive player. Yeah, here we go. That's GG. There's just too much here. Good game, Henry. Well done. And I hope to see you on the ladder again because I think I could manage. This is a very fun game. This is one of the most fun games I've had in a long time. Even though I lost, I had a great time. So this is going to go up on the YouTube. If you're on there, like, subscribe, leave me a message, say hi, whatever. And join us for future replay reviews. If you have a review you'd like done, send it my way. Let me know what game you want reviewed, and I will do a video. I'm happy to. I'm not going to charge you. Like, I'm just having fun here. So send me a video. I'm happy to learn because I learned by watching you, and you learn by watching me, and we can talk about it. And yeah, looking forward to it. Anyhow, that's it for today. Have a good one, and I will talk to you